What is up, everybody? It's Travis here from TCGU University with another deck profile for the card game UniVersus. Today I'm going to be playing Siegfried and giving you a deck pick for him. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Today, playing Siegfried, obviously. Siegfried is a 6-hander with 27 health that says, R, after you block with a foundation, add it to your staging area. Which is really good on defense because it means I could just block with foundations for free and add them down, which is -1 progressive and +1 build. He also has an E4+ that says this attack gets +3 or -2 damage, and it cannot gain any damage bonuses or penalties for the rest of this enhanced step. And your opponent can flip 1 to cancel this, so... basically just free DR, free damage pump if your opponent doesn't flip a resource to cancel it, which is pretty good. We're going to start off with our assets. I play 3 one-of assets, 1 Requiem. Requiem is a 3/6 with a 1 mid-block unique weapon that says E, once per turn, this attack gets +1 damage for each of your opponent's flip face-down foundations. And then it also says, E, commit, this attack gets -1 damage for each of your opponent's face-down foundations. They can flip 1 foundation face-down to cancel this. So it's really good with Siegfried because we make them flip a bunch of foundations and then we can give it damage pump or minus damage, which is pretty good. I play 1 Astronomy Tower. Astronomy Tower is a 2/5 no-block unique that says, form, remove, flip all assets and foundations with flip in their costs in both staging areas. So like if my opponent has like a Wearlight or anything else that has flip in the cost for any of its abilities, I can just flip it so I don't have to deal with it, which is really good with Siegfried because the faster we can get them to the point where they all have face downs, the faster my character just goes off. And then it also has an R that says 5+. After your opponent plays a keyword ability, they flip 1 foundation. So, like I said, another way to ramp into the free minus damage and free plus damage on Siegfried without them being able to cancel. Then we play 1 Graven Castle Ruins. Graven Castle Ruins is a 2/5 with a 2 high block terrain that says E, your attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage for each other copy of it in your card pool, playable by either player. So basically you just like play multiples of 1 attack and then it just gets 2/2, 4/4, etc., etc. And then since both players can do that, you typically want that to be your first enhance on your opponent's attack so they can't use it or whatever. It also has another enhance that says destroy 1 foundation, add 1 attack from your card or discard pile to your card pool, playable by either player as well. So in our deck we have Woodman's Leaf Shield, so we could blow up a foundation to add in the Woodman's Leaf Shield from our discard pile, which is -2 damage on all of their attacks, which is 4 damage with Siegfried. And this is also playable by your opponent, so typically you want to like destroy a foundation first to add in your thing so they can't use it, since can't play the same enhance on 1 card during the enhance step. On to the actions. I play 3 Dark Tournament Looms. Dark Tournament Looms is a 1/5 with a 2 mid block that says E, remove, add 1 card from your momentum to your hand and draw a card. So basically it's let's cut loose for momentum instead of adding a foundation to your hand. So it's like a free +2 that lets us get our useful stuff back that touch them, which is really good. We play 3 Your Path Ends Here. Your Path Ends Here is a 2/5 action with a 1 high block that says R, card pool, remove after you block with this attack. Or block an attack with this card, your opponent flips 2 foundations, and then they can also discard a card to cancel that instead of flipping 2 foundations. So like, this is really good synergy with Siegfried because like I said, it makes them flip further, so I can get to the point where Siegfried can't be canceled. And if they don't, they discard a card, which is also really good because it means that they're getting rid of pieces that they might need most of the time. It also has an enhance that says remove, this attack gets +X or -X damage. X equals the number of your opponent's face-down foundations, and they can flip 2 to cancel this. So it basically just pressures them to flip 2, and then if they can't flip 2, then it's just plus a million damage or minus a million damage, which is pretty good. Onto the attacks, I play 2 Deflection Swing. Deflection Swing is a 4-diff with a 3-check, 2 mid-block that has reversal weapon and says enhance, add the top card of your deck to your staging area face down, and then add 1 face down foundation from your staging area to your hand. So basically it just lets us reuse good defensive pieces that flip themselves, or like if our opponent flips one of our foundations that we need, we can just get it back and draw a card basically, which is pretty good. Building already and drawing a card is always pretty good. It also has an enhance that says if this attack was played as a reversal, it gains all enhances printed on the blocked attack. So it's really good if I block like a missile launcher or coffee samba or just any attacks that are really high impact in general. So we just copy that and we're like, alright, well, I can kill you with this because it's pretty good. On to our next attack, we play 4 Tiger Claws, which is a Byakko card that is a 3-diff with a 3-check, 3 mid for 3 with a 1 mid block and breaker 1 with ranged. It says discard the top 3 cards of your deck. This attack gets a speed bonus equal to the highest printed difficulty on a foundation in either player's staging area. So with some of the stuff in our deck, we can get up to plus 5 speed on this. Very typically it gets like 3 speed, which is pretty good. It also says lose 2 vitality, your opponent flips 1 foundation, which is really good. Like I said, with our other stuff that forces them to flip, it gets us to the point where Siegfried can't be cancelled, which is probably one of the strongest things that you can do with this character. I play 4 Missile Launcher. Missile Launcher is a 5-2 with a 2 mid block, 3 low for 6, with Stun 2, EX2, and Powerful 4. That says discard the top 4 cards of your deck as a cost. This attack gets plus 4 speed or plus 4 damage. So basically it just is like a 9 low for 6 or a 5 low for 10 because of stun. That it just opens your opponent up to taking a lot of damage, and then with Siegfried, we can say that they can't DR the damage with like minuses, just because of the way Siegfried is worded, which is really good. It also has a deadlock enhance that says this attack gets plus 3 to all of its keyword ratings printed on it. So in deadlock, it's stun 5, EX 5, powerful 7, which is pretty insane. Very good wall breaker if your opponent gets to that point. On to the next card. We play 4 Nutcracker. Nutcracker is a 4-diff 3-check, 4 low for 4 with breaker 2 and a 2 mid block, and charge EX3, punch, and slam. It says enhance, add 1 foundation from your discard pile to your card pool in any order, draw a card. So it basically just adds in Sense of Morals in this deck and draws us a card, and if we don't have Sense, we just add in something when we're not trying to kill them and draw a card. It also says if your opponent is a male character, it gets plus 4 damage, which is free. So like it's a free 4 low for 8, 4 low for 11 with Siegfried if they don't cancel it. So it hits for really big numbers and draws us cards, which is strong. I play 4 Dark Churito. Dark Churito is good against a lot of characters in the meta right now. It says it's a 6-diff with a 3-check that's a 4 low for 6 with a 2 high block that has multiple 2 and ranged, and has a static that says while this card is in your card pool, your opponent cannot play abilities that could reduce the damage of your attacks or cause cards to leave your card pool. So basically it says they can't Princess Parry us, they can't use Confronting Jeddah, they can't use their character to reduce damage or increase damage in some cases, because a character like Yusuke can also use his ability to reduce the damage of my attacks, which means he just can't use that ability, which is really strong. It also has a deadlock enhance that says if this attack deals damage, multiple copies of this attack are unblockable. So basically if they don't have the low block, they're not blocking any of them when it's in deadlock, which is pretty strong. Really like that. On to the next card, we play 2 Woodman's Leaf Shield. Woodman's Leaf Shield is a 5-diff with a 3-check, 3 high for 6, and a 1 mid block that has Fury, ranged, and safe. It says while this card is in your card pool, your opponent's attacks get -2 damage, and their block mods get +2 or +1. So basically, while it's in your card pool on offense, all your attacks have +1 speed for each Woodman's Leaf Shield in your card pool. And then while it's in your card pool on defense, all your opponent's attacks have -2 damage, which with Siegfried is basically -4 damage on all of their attacks, which is really strong. It also has a Deadlock Enhance that says this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each card in your hand. So basically, if we like Dark Tournament Looms, it gets 7/7 for free, which is pretty strong. Even without it, it gets 5/5 for free in Deadlock, which is also really strong. On to our foundations. We play 2 Massive Size. Massive Size is a 5 diff with a 5 check that has a 2 mid block and says this card gets -2 difficulty if you have more vitality than your opponent. So basically this deck can be pretty grindy, and we have a lot of DR, so typically we're guaranteed to take less damage than our opponent in a longer game, just because of what our character does. So it's like always a 3 diff. It says E commit, this attack gets +X damage, X equals 10 minus your hand size. So basically it's commit for +4 damage, which is really strong on like a missile launcher where it has a lot of speed, or like a Deadlock Woodman's Leaf Shield. Just really good on a lot of our attacks. We play 2 Thunderous Roar. Thunderous Roar is a 3 diff with a 5 check and a 4 mid block that says enhance commit, your attack gets +1 speed for each of your opponent's face down foundations. If you have 30 or more cards in your discard pile, it gets an additional +1 speed for each of your opponent's face down foundations. So basically, our character makes a lot of checks. We also have his other card, which is Second Saintly Beast, which mills us. So by the time we're actually using this card, it's getting the 30+ bonus. So we're getting like +5 speed, +6 speed twice. So it's like +12 speed, which is really strong. It helps us get through our opponent's walls, because like Siegfried doesn't really have a problem with putting out damage, but he does have a problem with getting speed on his attacks. I play 1 Refusing to Let Go. Refusing to Let Go is a 3/5 with a no block unique that says E commit, return this attack's damage to printed, then give this attack +2 or -2 damage. So basically in Siegfried, we use Siegfried's effect on the 4+ to give it -2 damage or whatever, or +2, and then we Refusing to Let Go to return it to printed, because Siegfried doesn't say we can't reduce the damage in general, it just says that we can't give it penalties, which means the plus or the minus on this card doesn't apply, so it would just return the attack to printed, which is pretty strong. And on to the next card, we have 3 Dark Side of Karma. It's a 3 diff with a 5 check and a 1 low block with a static that says each ability on this card is playable while committed, and R remove after an enhance ability on a non-character, non-weapon card is played, cancel it. So like there are a lot of good non-weapon cards in this format, so like this cancels Spirit Shotgun, it cancels Let's Cut Loose, cancels a bunch of good enhances. It also says E flip, return this attack's speed to its printed speed. So it just like, it's a good speed reset that lets us block easier with Siegfried, and it also has a really good 1 low block, so we can like block with this card on our opponent's turn and add it down, and they won't expect it, and then they'll have to deal with a cancel, which is pretty strong. I play 1 The Snake Becomes the Dragon. It's a 2 diff with a 5 check, 3 mid block unique that says E commit. This attack gets -2 speed for each of your opponent's face down foundations. So at the end of the game, it's like -12 speed, -14 speed, somewhere along those lines. Really good. We play 4 Second Saintly Beasts. It is a 2 diff with a 5 check and a 3 high block with Breaker 1 that says E, once per turn, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. This attack gets +2 or -2 speed. And Deadlock Enhance, your opponent flips 1 foundation. So basically, like I said, the one issue with Siegfried is that he can't give speed to his attacks, really. So this card kind of fixes that issue. It's also just a really good defensive piece because it has Breaker 1, so we can block with it, bring it down with Siegfried. And then the Deadlock Enhance once they get to deadlock, if I have 1 to 2 of these, they probably just can't deal with it because I'm forcing them to flip 2 foundations on every attack, 3 if they try to cancel Siegfried, which means they'll eventually not be able to cancel Siegfried. I play 3 Guardian of the Spirit Sword. It is a 2/5 with a 2 high block that has ally and says A once per turn. This attack gets -2 speed and -3 speed instead if it's a weapon. So there are a lot of good weapon cards in this format as well. You can just give that -3 speed, and it's also multi-use, so like you can use it more than once, which is really strong for speed hate. Just having a renewable non-committal speed hate is really good. I play 4 Sense of Morals. Sense of Morals is our only Nutcracker, like real Nutcracker target because it doesn't give us the progressive difficulty, but it is a 2/5 with no block and the ally keyword that says this card does not count towards progressive difficulty, and E4+, ready one of your foundations that has been committed due to your opponent's effects this turn, playable while committed. So basically it's really good against stun decks, anything that would commit our foundations. It's really good against because it lets us reuse certain strong foundations like Refusing to Let Go that have commit effects. On to the next one, I play 4 Toughest Punk in Junior High, which is a 2/5 with a 3 mid block that says R flip before you would take damage from an attack. Reduce the damage that you would take from that attack by 3. So basically, Siegfried doesn't stop us from using this because it's not a penalty, it's reducing the damage of the attack, which is really strong, so we can like minus damage and then flip this for -3 more, so it's like -5 damage, which is good. And then we have 3 Overly Dramatics. Overly Dramatic is a 2/5 with a 3 mid block that says R flip after your opponent plays an ability that would decrease the damage of or increase the speed of an attack, cancel its effects. So this can also cancel characters, so like things that we can't really interact with as Siegfried, which would be our opponent increasing speed and stuff, we can just cancel. Or if they try to reduce the damage of our attack with something, we can also cancel. It also has a Deadlock Enhance that says remove, add 1 attack from your discard pile to your hand. So you can just add any of our strong, good Deadlock attacks to your hand in Deadlock, so like Missile Launcher or Woodman's Shield, which is a really good ability. I play 3 $500 sunglasses. It is a 2/5 with a 3 high block that has a static that says after you block an attack with this card, that attack deals 1 damage. So basically this is for like throws or like Spirit Shotgun, things that are not throws but are basically throws. And it also says R commit after your opponent plays an enhance ability, they commit 1 of their foundations. So like it's free repeatable committal when your opponent tries to do things, which is also really strong. I play 3 Pursuing a Vendetta. It's a 1/5 with a 3 high block that says this card cannot leave your staging area due to your opponent's effects, and it has R flip after a foundation leaves your staging area due to your opponent's effect, add 1 foundation from your discard pile to your staging area committed. So like in our Spirit Gun meta right now, this card's really strong because it can't be destroyed by Spirit Gun, and it also builds you 1 when they try to debuild you in any way, which is really good. I play 2 Desperate for Redemption. It is a 1/5 with a 3 mid block that says after this card is added to your staging area, you may add 1 other foundation from your staging area to your hand, which is really good because like with 2 of these cards, we have an infinite mid block loop with Siegfried, so we can just keep blocking and picking 1 back up over and over again. It also says E commit, flip, unflip 1 foundation, your opponent, or your attack gets +2 damage, your opponent may flip 1 foundation to cancel this effect, which is really good because it lets us renew our foundations, and if they cancel it, they just flipped another foundation, which gets us to maximum Siegfried faster. On to the next card, we have 2 Solemn Exorcism. It is a 1/5 2 high block with weapon that has a static that says after you block a weapon card with this card, it gets breaker 2, which is really good. There are good weapons that you can block this with this card, and just Breaker 2, which can end turns. It also says E-commit if you have no cards in your hand, draw a card. So basically with Siegfried, if we only have this card in our hand, we can block with it, add it down, and then commit it on our next card to draw a card, which is really strong. Just very good effect for us. Onto our last card, I play 4 Push the Limit. Push the Limit is a 0/5 with a 3 low block that has a static that says after you play this card, your opponent flips 1 foundation. And it has another static that says when this card is in your card pool, both players' characters gained the air symbol and the water symbol until it leaves. So that part's not really relevant, but the flip one on a spam is really relevant because it helps us get to the maximum Siegfried output faster, and we can block with it and bring it down, and they still have to flip 1, which is really good. Alright, this has been my deck profile on Siegfried. Thank you guys for coming and watching this. Check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, on all of our social media platforms, and on our Discord, where you can get in on there at the Patreon for $1 level every month, which is pretty good. You'll get to talk to me and all of my friends in TCGU, and this has been fun, guys. Stay learned.